Notice I said we because I'm joined with a special co-host.
DJ!
Yes, I don't know if you saw or remember, but the little guy that helped me put together the rifleman video, yep, he's here with me today. And we're on an adventure that caught his attention because of the title, Chasing Ghosts. So, DJ, remember there's just 2 rules, alright? No cursing and stay on topic. And because of the title today, we can go ahead and talk about ghosts some. He loves talking about ghosts. I guess he inherited from me his love for a good tale of supernaturally potential based mystery. But anyway, this was actually a fascinating little quest story-wise. I actually love it, and it's actually really, really representative of some of the novels out there that did involve the Free Worlds League. I mean, one of the reasons why I love Purple Bird is because Purple Bird's its own little bubble, literally. Historically and storyline-wise, they are literally... They don't exist in a vacuum, but they are, in essence, their own little biosphere. If I remember right, this is a simple raiding mission. It's a 2-part quest. And yeah, it's actually one of the first ones you can get into when you cross across the Capellan turf into Marik turf. And it's actually not excessively difficult or anything. I actually found it maybe even a little too easy, but the storyline and the rewards are totally worth it. So, DJ, what do you like about ghosts so much?
What I like most of all is when I hear noises where it's coming from. Because at least I could hear where it's coming from, and at least if I'm already there, I can see what's moving and what is there that's making it move.
Okay. So the thing that gets you about ghosts is their ability to like make noises and still manipulate things in the environment despite having no body to do it with.
And the other thing I like about Ghost is when you see like a black arm sticking out of a doorway, and when you come in the room, you could see like what's moving, and at least if you know where it is, you could probably get there in time just in case if the ghost knocks down something. Or maybe it's just playing with something that's just standing,
Okay, so your second draw to ghosts is their ability to kind of appear and disappear at will? Yeah? Okay, well that kind of makes sense. I mean, God knows tactically invisibility would be an awesome superpower to have, Can you imagine if a whole battle mech could disappear?
Yeah.
They actually have things to do that with. Oh my god. If anybody remembers the legend of null signature systems being combined with the chameleon systems, oh my god. I can't believe that's actually allowed under rules. I mean, that is a phenomenal set of targeting modifiers to overcome. And you're probably only going to be able to do it with luck. So, DJ, we have lived in a few areas where we could definitely say there was some activity, right?
Yeah, like the house on Wallwood.
Yeah.
Because there was a ghost in it. I could hear the door just starting to open. freaking kicking all of a sudden.
Yeah, that was weird how that happened like several nights in a row, too. Remember that? And it was always right around 2, 3 o'clock at night in the morning.
And don't forget that one night when it knocked on the bedroom window.
Yeah. Yeah. That was during that same time period when it was banging on the doors, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I think it was like the second or third night it did that instead of banging on the door. We lived in this place in Wildwood for a very short amount of time. It was like literally only 6 months. Truth be told, the main reason why we literally fled the place is because it had no working plumbing. So out of all the places we've been, what's the one ghost thing that will always be like your most memorable experience?
Well, the banging on the door, the honking at the beige aisles, where do you know that one Halloween night when that little girl ghost
Oh, rang the tricycle bell in your in your playroom?
Yeah.
And we were all sitting on the couch in the living room? Yeah, oh my god, that was epic. That was epic. So, another house that we lived at, we lived in Orlando for a very long chunk of time. We were actually at this house for like a good 5, 6 years, and it seemed to have been haunted by what would be best described as a family that I get a very strong vibe because of the time and era when the house was built in the early 1900s. Might have met a very bad fate, and that's why you had a whole family of ghosts. I mean, literally a mom, a dad, and a little girl. Remember? Because the dad was scary. He only showed up as that giant black fat man. Remember? But the mom you would see sometimes, and she was just a really nice tall black woman in a blue dress that was like, I want to say probably like 20 or 30s vintage, right? But anyway, we were all sitting on the couch one night, and it just so happened to be right around Halloween time. I think it was either Devil's Night or Halloween night itself. But me, my wife, and DJ were just sitting on the couch, and his playroom was notorious for having an inordinate amount of activity. Matter of fact, the previous renter of the place was my wife's sister, and she even told us explicitly, hey, we don't use that room, we don't go in that room, we don't F with that room. Just treat it like it don't even exist. Because it seemed like there was the heart of all the activity was right in that room, wasn't it?
Yeah, because one night you and Mom were in bed watching YouTube, and I saw like this weird black arm literally just sticked out of the doorway. And when I saw that weird black fat arm, I was like, who's in there? And it's like barely just not talking. And that was pretty scary, because when I saw that arm, I thought it was like some weird looking spider.
Okay. So you said it didn't quite sound like talking. Did after you asked who's there, did you hear it try to talk back or something?
It made like a couple of snake noises,
like a hissing sound?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, like it was trying to hurt me or something, but it didn't. It just stayed.
Okay. How did that incident end? After you heard that, and was the arm still hanging there, or what happened?
That weird spider web arm just went back into the doorway, and what and what was even weirder than that? I heard one of my cars making like noises.
You heard one of your cars rolling around?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Okay. All right. My personal favorite was one. It was really weird too because it was morning, but it was really, really early in the morning. Like it was still dark outside early in the morning, you know?
Like around
What?
2 in the morning.
No, like 5, 6 in the morning, kinda. And I was getting ready to go to work, and I walked into the kitchen, and remember the curtain over the doorway that went into the kitchen? Okay. Well, I walked into the kitchen to make me a cup of coffee and, you know, kick open the side door and smoke a cigarette like I usually did, you know? And while I was standing there making the coffee, that curtain that covered the doorway actually pulled all the way to one side and then just snapped right back. Now, I know you're like me, you like to watch a lot of ghost-related stuff. What's your favorite ghost stuff to, like, watch? Do you like stories, or do you like watching, like, the actual real paranormal investigators trying to find them, or...
I like Omar and that on Discovery show that comes on.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. He's talking about a YouTube channel called Omar Gosh TV. It's spelled Omargosh. I've actually been watching that guy for literally a decade, maybe a little longer, and if you're into paranormal investigations, he is genuinely legit. And he does some awesome work, and he's got an awesome catalog of places he's gone to, hasn't he?
Yeah, I'll say he's been around for over 10 years.
Yeah, because we started watching them when we when we ended up in Kentucky. The other show you're talking about is called Expedition X. And Josh Gates, he's awesome too. I've actually been watching him longer than Omar. Because I followed him all the way back to his days with the Sci-Fi Channel doing a show called Destination Truth. And, man, he did a paranormal investigation of Pripyat, which is the town right outside of the Chernobyl power plant that blew up. DJ, oh my God. We should try to find this on YouTube later. Josh Gates went to this one town, right? And this one town had been abandoned for it's gonna stay abandoned for probably 100 years longer anyway. But, there was a nuclear power plant just outside this town called Chernobyl. And it blew up. Yeah, and it was like an atom bomb going off, dude.
So that whole place got wrecked because of it? Or did it just...
The town itself wasn't damaged in the immediate explosion, but the radiation, the fallout, people were dropping dead as they were evacuating, dude. Because the radiation was killing them. It was like that. And
it must have got so hot there.
Hot in a radioactive sense, absolutely. But
like people in the houses were dying.
yeah, that's exactly true. That's exactly right. And they evacuated the town, and basically the whole world knows that you don't go there. You don't live there. You can't, you know, because of the radiation. It's still toxic like that. It's still that bad. But Josh Gates got permission way back. I think this was somewhere around like between 05 and 10 easy, maybe a little later, like 07 to 12. But he went to Pripyat with a team and did a paranormal investigation there, and that place was effing alive, yo. There was one apartment building he walked into, and he walked into this apartment and he noticed a piano, and they, you know, just started walking around, and when they left the apartment, the piano started playing. Yeah. Now it gets better. They're in the same building. They go up another flight of stairs or two. One of his homies brought some an infrared camera. You know, the heat camera.
That shows like that weird bony figure.
No. Know the crazy rainbow colored one, or sometimes it's just black and white, but it shows the heat? Okay. Dude was looking out the window and looked across to another apartment building across the street from the one they were at. And you could actually see one dude standing in one window, and then movement across two others, like somebody was walking by them. In every building they went to, they were getting responses without even asking for it. They, honestly, DJ, that bony camera, that hadn't been invented yet. Yeah, that's how long ago that was. He's talking about the SLS camera, in case you're wondering what the bony camera is. He calls it that because of the how it displays the what it interprets as probably a person with the stick figure drawing, because it looks like little bones. But anyways, so yeah, that was one of the craziest things Josh Gates ever got to see, I think. I would love to interview him one day and ask him that question, because you know he's seen some stuff. So, I know you love a good story. What's your favorite ghost story, or do you have one?
I like the story where like do you know, like before Omar starts hunting ghosts, you know, like the story it tells?
Oh yeah, how he does like a briefing phase?
Yeah.
Okay. Is that your favorite part of Omar's videos? He does do some great storytelling. He's actually made a few videos where he's done just that too. If you want to dig them up later, just ask. I'll tell you how to. I'll teach you how to spell Omar. Okay.
Ravid is seemingly alive
All
and
right.
well, but as the leader of the very bandits that occupy these fringe worlds.
So,
Baron Stroud hopes we can take him alive, but we can't take any risks.
you want to know why they call this one Chasing Ghosts? All right. So this is one of those crazy incidents or tales that's like I said, guys, I don't know why, but for some reason the storyline in this quest, if anybody out in Viewerland wants to chime in with any ideas or candidates, I feel like I've heard this story before in a Battletech novel or in a Shrapnel story. But, what the story is about is there's this guy, he's a duke, right? You know what duke is, DJ?
A douchebag.
I'm at least teaching you good. Alright, okay, you know on the big map of the inner sphere how you got the big colored sections? Those are the houses that has one dude running, right? And they're like regional governors. Do you understand that? Like, here's the country, now here are the states within the country. And each of the duke is like a governor of each of those states. Does that make sense to you?
So he started out as an evil person?
Straight up 99% of the time, royalty does suck. I'm not going to hold back there. But this is why the George Carlin rule exists. Would you like to tell the audience what the George Carlin rule is?
Few winners, whole lot of losers.
Let me give you a little more context. It's named after the comedian George Carlin, and I think he was every bit a wise man and philosopher in reality in modern day incarnation than he was as much of a comedian. But he talked once about the issues of things like racism and sexism and, things along those lines. Judicial biases that are applied against people that they cannot willingly change, And the point of his conversation there was every group of people is exactly the same. They are made up of a few winners.
A lot of losers.
Exactly. And that's the rule. And that's why I'm trying to teach my son is, people are exactly that. Few winners, a whole lot of losers. And it's a very wise trait to learn early on, I feel, to try to learn to read and discern through the vast swaths of people that you're going to encounter throughout your life, and try to get rid of bad people early before they become a problem, right? Okay. Now, the reason why I say that is there have been some good royalty, both in real life and in Battletech. Okay? The only real life royalty that comes to my mind right away, at least in the good sense, would be, and this is ironic because they're both women, Princess Diana. She was an incredible combination of humanitarian spirit and beauty, and reaching into the ancestry of the same region, going a little more Irish, Queen Boudica. I mean, I roll my eyes every time at the thought of, man, 50 miles away from London and you just turned around and went home? Are you for real? But yeah, historical facts and is what is. But yeah, in Battletech, some of my favorite and I feel best examples of good royalty would have been Grandpa Hans Davian, the guy that drove the the blue and white and red Battle Master. You know he's my hero, right? Or one of them anyway, right? And the second one would be my boy Adam Steiner on the front lines of the Klan invasion. And despite being 17th in line, yeah, just keep swinging, because he made it. I died laughing when I read he was made Archon. Oh my god. Because my brain instantly ran all the way to the very first episode of the Battletech cartoon where he's like 17th cousin to Archon. And I was like, oh my god, we did it! Al Steiner actually had a shot for a minute there too. Oh my god. And then he made, you know, another cool movie he made? Do you remember the Grey Death Legion? Yeah, you do now, yeah. Yeah, that's actually an episode that comes shortly after this. But anyway, he actually made the son of Grey Death Carlisle himself. I believe his name's Alex Carlisle. But he actually made him a duke. And yeah, you cannot deny that that's a straight power move. I mean, that is literally every bit as good as what Hans Davian did with the Northwind Highlanders. Anyways, back to the story. There's this duke and he has a kid, right? And this kid's super, super smart. And he's great with people, too. He's gonna be an awesome replacement for his dad, because Duke being a royal title, that could be a job you get, but it's more than likely a job you inherit. That means your mom or your dad did it, and when they die, you take over their spot for it. You understand that, DJ? So, this Duke, is teaching his kid, you know, how to be a real good diplomat and negotiator. And he sends his kid out on this, some sort of diplomatic mission. I'm not sure exactly the details of what it was about, but they're kind of inconsequential in the end anyway. But what happened was, everything went fine, and then they got to one system, and their jump ship malfunctioned. And the jump ship disappeared.
How did it disappear?
It's actually, frighteningly enough, a known malfunction called a misjump.
What is a misjump?
What happens is the jump ship, you know how it kind of dematerializes, disappears, and then bang, you get that explosion and it just reappears in the new place, far away from where it was? Well, what happens is when that bang happens, it doesn't happen where you wanted it to. And what happens usually is you end up way further away and in a different direction than what you were trying to do. So, the ship ended up misjumping and was lost. And nobody could find it. Alright? So this poor Duke, this poor dad, alright, he's he keeps his ears and eyes open, and he's even, you know, one. This is actually where you come in. By keeping his eyes and ears open, even though it's almost like 15 years later when this happens, he starts getting a combination of reports in, okay? And what he's being told is, first of all, we're getting a lot of pirate action right on the outside border of the Free Worlds League, which is kind of weird. You want to know why that's weird? Because in this section of space, nobody lives there. The systems are all abandoned. They're all empty. The few inhabitable planets they do have, it has air you can breathe and gravity so you don't float away. But they're desert planets with no water. Okay? The second thing is, he's getting reports from merchants traveling through the area. They're picking up radio chatter. Like, there's actually a city or a small settlement out there somewhere.
Oh.
Yeah. So, he hires you. He's like, hey, I have no idea what's going on out there, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pay you to put eyes on the situation for me. Alright? I have no idea if maybe, just maybe, my kid is still alive out there somewhere and he's trying to communicate, or if the communications we're hearing is from a pirate base and we found where these pirates are raiding from, and we can go take them out and stop the pirating altogether. So, I'm gonna pay you to go out there, and you can figure it out for me. You know what it turns out, DJ? It was both. What happened was, when the ship misjumped, it misjumped to a system that had a planet that could be inhabited. But this planet had a really interesting curse attached to it. The water was drinkable, but it had a special poison in it. And what this poison does is make you kind of crazy. You start seeing things, you start hearing things. It makes you very paranoid. Yeah! What does paranoid mean?
It means like you're scared of the things around you.
That's good. That's good. Really, the best, like, dictionary kind of definition I could give you is a fear that is irrational, meaning you're scared and there's no reason for it. Does that make sense? Exactly. Okay. So they're all drinking this water. Yeah. The look in your eyes like, are you for real? Yep. They're all drinking this water. And one night they're like, oh crap, we're running out of food. What do we do?
They become stupid.
No. They actually, DJ, this is downright evil. And this is actually, I hate to say it, peak pirating tactics. Okay? This is almost Skinwalker-esque, bro. Let me walk you down this line. So, they got this jump ship, and they got drop ships. The jump ship, though, the core on it is messed up. It can't jump nowhere. And because of that, they're stranded there in that system. Because for a drop ship to fly from that system to the next system is literally gonna take like 3-4 years. And they don't have the gas to do it with either. Yeah.
So y'all just die.
No. It gets worse. The next system might not even be inhabited, so we're gonna have to go even further out. Now, because they had the drop ships and the jump ships, they did have food, they did have water. They also had weapons and mechs. So here's what they do. Now keep in mind, they've been drinking this poisoned water that makes them kind of crazy. And in addition to making you paranoid, it can also make you hella mean. So they take one of their drop ships, right? And they fly it out to the edge of the system. Now, every spaceship has an emergency beacon on it, right?
Yeah.
And the emergency beacon is so, hey, if something goes seriously bad, but you're still alive, just floating through space, tap this button, and some way, somehow, hopefully, somebody will be able to find you, right? Okay. So they fly their dropship out to the edge of the system where it gets some decent reception, and they tap the SOS button, and they just wait. Well, one of those merchant ships, remember that I told you about, cruising the border, that was picking up the radios? One of them is passing by, and they pick up that beacon. What do you think they did? They answered it. Oh crap. How'd they get out there? Well, it's on the way. Let's go ahead and stop in and we'll pick them up. So they jump into that system and they see the drop ship, floating in space, and they're like, hey, you need some help? And they're like, yes, please. Could you please just take us to the next inhabited system? Yeah. So the drop ship docks with the jump ship, and guess what happens when they open the doors? Click, click, guns are out. And they take that jump ship over, and they jump to the next system. And some of them remain on board the jump ship to keep it under control, while the others took the drop ship down, released the mechs, stole all the food, gold, and stuff they wanted, got back in their ship, got back to the jump ship, and went to their new home. What happened was this Duke's kid was starting his own pirate kingdom. Yup. Isn't that crazy? Yup. And yeah, that's the whole story of the Chasing Ghost Quest. You like it? You can say something.
Yes, I do like it.
That was a lot of twists and turns you didn't see coming, did you? And what's crazy was it wasn't actual ghosts, but it definitely seemed like it at some point, didn't it?
Yeah.
But yeah, and unfortunately, because he's a pirate kingdom, the Free Worlds League paid a hefty price and demanded his head, and the Minnesota tribe happily delivers. I have to admit, it was an awesome story, but it's such a sad ending, and I hate to say it, there was no other way, but it does conclude it and give it a finality, and really really, really makes this story its own ghost story. You know? Because somebody died, and this is their remembrance of how and why. You know? But yeah, kind of story within storytelling. Awesome stuff. Anyways, it's about time for us to ghost. And until next episode, peace from New Avalon.
Peace from New Avalon.